Ladies who have ended a relationship where your partner was a great person, but the relationship just didn't feel right. How did you manage? Was it the right decision? If something doesn't feel right, that usually means it's not right for you. It's taken me many years of being with the wrong people and staying in relationships that I thought would change to get to the point where I don't waste time on people or situations that aren't doing it for me. Everyone can be great in their own way, but life is too short to waste time on anything you're not 100% into. Breakups hurts, but even worse is being stuck in one because you don't want to hurt their feelings. I'm struggling so hard with this right now. My BF is a wonderful man who is caring, considerate, goofy, and intelligent, but there's just something missing. The thought of hurting him is just awful, but I also feel trapped a bit. But I also wonder if I'm just being inconsiderate and making things more complicated than they need to be. I went through this, and looking back it was 100% the right decision. I completely felt the I love them, but I'm not in love with them scenario. I'm going through this now, and it's fucking terrible. Like I actually love him so much, but I'm not in love with him. You know when you have SEs with some you're in love with and it's just, you know? How did you know the difference? Not original poster, but for me it's the passion. I've loved my past boyfriends, but it eventually fizzled out when I couldn't picture a future with them. Now I'm with the man I want to marry, and I love him on a whole new level I didn't think I was capable of. With others I always had that nagging thought in the back of my mind telling me this isn't the right person for me, one reason or another. I'm convinced that being honest to yourself and others is the right thing to do. So I explained what is on my mind and left him. I feel sorry for him, cause he wanted me to stay. But if it doesn't feel right anymore, it doesn't make sense. I made the right decision. What was her explanation? You have him. We developed in different directions and he wasn't a friend anymore, just a reliable partner. I think the opposite happened with me. Reliable partner turned into just a friend. This happened to me too. It's terrible and still hurts after many years together, but you just explained head on why I chose to leave. Thank you for that. We had toyed around with dating since senior year in high school, but never really made it official until maybe 2 years after. He was my best friend. I did care for him, however his feelings were way more intense than mine. His feelings kept growing, but mine never did. I enjoyed my time with him. I was attracted to him. I did care for him, but never fell in love. When he started to talk about the future, I realized I had to end it. It didn't feel right to stay with hope that I would develop those feelings. It was hard at first. I felt like we lost a really good friendship. He was really hurt. But he realized later I didn't end it to be cruel, and we are still really good friends. I'm now married to my awesome husband going on 10 years. He is still single trying to figure out his own sexuality, but that part has nothing to do with our past relationship. I had an incredible boyfriend a couple of years ago. He was the best person I've ever met, morally, physically, mentally. He was overall probably anyone's dream guy. But for some reason I just became unattracted to how boringly good he was. He was too perfect, and I felt kind defo dirty compared to him. I accepted the way I felt as a sign that we probably shouldn't be together. Looking back, I think it was the right decision. As awesome as he was, he wanted me to be awesome with him, and when I didn't want to he would get bumped. I pretended to have the same interests as him for a while and supported his interests, but then I got tired of it and suddenly we had nothing in common. I realized that even though he loved me, I wasn't happy being a person that didn't make him really happy. I had the best few months of my life after breaking up with him and spent the summer single, focusing on reconnecting with myself and my friends. It was lonely, but I enjoyed it at the same time. I don't ever feel the desire to be back with him or miss our relationship, but I'm thankful for the time we spent together and the lessons we learned, and hopeful that we will each find someone who is perfect. I did. Everything felt good. My ex is an amazing guy, but I no longer felt the love I should feel for my partner. He felt more like my brother than my partner. I realized I was headed towards a stable life, yes, but also a life without passion, a life without love, and a life where I would always feel trapped. My entire family loved my ex and couldn't comprehend why I decided to throw that all away. My ex was heartbroken. His family still doesn't like me. They never have, in all honesty, but I'm happy. It's been over 2 years now. We've both found new partners. We are living our lives and it really was the best thing I could have done. Yes, I did, and it's probably one of the best choices I've made. He was a great guy, kind, sweet, thoughtful, etc. the whole 9 yards. He was my first boyfriend, and we dated for almost 4 years. There was no fight, no big disagreement, etc. I just one day had an epiphany that I didn't love him, at least not anymore. So, I found a job several states away and, to be honest, cowardly, used that as the reason to break up with him. It seemed easier to start my life fresh than try to untangle several years of baggage. Turns out, my first week in my new state, I met a guy on Tinder. Zero plans to date him seriously, but would be a good casual fling. Yeah, right. So I married him, and we are now expecting our first child. Turns out my husband is exactly what I would have chosen if given the chance to create my dream guy. The perfect man for you does exist out there. Fairy tale love and romance novelesses do exist, and don't settle for anything less than what makes you completely happy. Broke up a month ago. We are still friends and have established boundaries to a certain degree. We have some work to do though, because one of us is going to get stung when a new partner eventually shows up. It's like we both haven't fully let go, but he's one of my favorite people, so I feel stuck. Not that this is a great solution and it really hurt, but when I had a person like this, we went no contact for about 6 months post breakup to avoid the sting of seeing a new partner. It really did us good in the long run though, because now we even help each other pick out date clothes with no bitterness. Our friendship was able to be a completely separate thing from our relationship. Wow. It sounds like it makes sense and would be beneficial, but I'm sad just thinking about maybe if we did know that there was a set date to resume contact it could work. But what if we get used to being out of each other's lives? What if the new partner doesn't want an ex randomly re-entering your life? Ugh, we did get used to not having each other, but that was the point. Now we can hang out without the stress of still depending on each other. And as far as a partner, if they can't handle a friendship, I don't need them. It was sad at first but so beneficial. If you don't mind me asking, why did you break up? The nice way of putting it is that we have different ideas about the dynamics of a relationship. I'm very much into showering my dude with attention and affection. I love physical touch and quality time. I want deep discussions, honest communication, and emotional intimacy. I'm the type to buy gifts and do thinking of you gestures. I want a best friend and partner in one. He wanted something much more relaxed and not as deep. Treated me more like a best friend than girlfriend. Our love languages are naturally different, and on top of never reciprocating my level of effort, he never expressed appreciation for it. Wasn't feeling valued or appreciated. I wasn't receiving the affection I craved, and he wasn't interested in doing anything adventurous. It was boring and unfulfilling. I'm too emotional, in general, working on it, and for him. We are so much better as friends, even if we care deeply for each other. A lot of lessons learned though, and I'm glad he took it well, even though I went kind of cold on him near the end. All my resentment that was developing in the last month disappeared after the week-long break we took after breaking up. Ended my relationship a few months ago due to feeling like we were growing apart. He's still one of the best people I know, very caring and genuine and fun to be around. However, I discovered that I wanted to live more adventurous life, and he is a homebody who prefers comfort to new experiences. This plus the fact that neither of us was making the other feel wanted sexually meant that we made the decision to end our 6-year relationship. Now I've had some distance, it's very clear that this was the right decision for me. I've already done some serious soul searching and begun to understand myself more, and have met some great new people who have made me understand what I'm looking for in my next primary partner when the time comes. Ultimately, I reached a point where I was thinking about what it'd be like if we broke up far more often than I was thinking about our future together, and that's when I knew it was time to end it. That last part just made me feel even more assured to break up with my BF. Thank you. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.